Hello, everyone. All right, we're gonna get started here. I have a little 30-minute practice I wanted to share with you. It's a practice that I like to do when I get up in the morning. It's about 30 minutes, so it gets everything in that I feel like I need to be moving, get the stiffening of my joints moving. But I also like my longer, deeper holds first thing in the morning as well. So this practice is a little bit of everything. We've got some yang and some yin. So if you happen to have a blanket or a beach towel or blanket off your bed, anything that will work. If you have two blocks, that's always helpful too. And then a fun strap. All right, so what we're gonna do first, we're gonna get started on our back. If you have a blanket, if you like a little soft padding, you may use your blanket at the back of your mat. We're gonna use these blocks. Now don't worry if you don't have any blocks, books, anything you wanna use, it doesn't really matter. You can use the blocks, great, and don't worry if you don't have them. We're just gonna find our way to our back. You can rest your head on your pillow as you get comfortable. With your two blocks, if you happen to have them, bring the soles of your feet together and place those two blocks just right underneath the outer thigh, just so that you can have your legs in butterfly. And then just gently rest your arms out by your sides, and we'll just get comfortable here. As we begin our practice, ideally for the morning, but it can be done any time of the day. A chance to just get on your mat, move, connect with your breath. So as I take these moments of stillness, allow ourselves to soften in the eyes and face, jaw. Listening and hearing our own heartbeat. As we lie here in our reclined butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana. Nice calming. Give us a place to be. As you listen for your breath, let's begin by deepening the breath here with a big inhale through the nose. Coming to the top, pause, and just a nice release on the way out as you exhale. Release the air. Again, inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, release. One more, in through the nose. Pause here with the breath. You sip a little more breath in. Maybe a little more. Coming to the top again, open the mouth and exhale it out with a release. Finding your breath in and out. Then the back ribs lift and the belly pull in. This next inhale will lift and raise the arms up to the ceiling above. Interlace your hands and roll the wrists back as you press the palms up to the ceiling. And then just gently take those arms up overhead for a nice reach and stretch. Lifting out through the side waist. And then release the interlace. Take the arms wide out to the sides as you find the thighs in front of you. And then just slide and help the legs together as you set the feet onto the floor. If you were using blocks, just leave them off to the side. And then just pull your knees into your chest. If you reach up for your knees, begin to bring your hands to your knees as you cup your hands around your knees. Have the inner thighs pressing if you can, flexing through the feet. Just bring the knees closer towards your nose. And as you push the knees apart or push the knees forward, we're going to split the knees apart and then bring it back together. So we'll just do that a couple more times. Push, split, and together. One more. Push, split, and together. Pause here at the center. Bring the knees closer towards your nose, split the knees apart, and back around. Twice more. Pull in, split, and together. Last one, together. And then pull your knees into your chest. And then bring your hands in front of you, palms to face the body. We'll just take the hands together, sealing the palms as you reach them up, and then over to the side and lift your head, neck, and shoulders as you do just a minor twist. And as you exhale, release as you come back up again on the right side, reaching forward and back to center. Twice more. Over to the left. Find the hands pressing together. Pause for a second on that breath. And back to center. Last one. Exhale, we lift, twist to the left. Back to center, rest the head. One more to the right. Squeeze the inner thighs, press the palms together, and lower down. Set your feet onto the floor. And we'll bring our right knee into our chest and cross our right outer ankle on top of our knee. Maybe with your hands, bring your hands to your thighs in front of you. You might stay here and just disperse to the first breath or so. Just press the outer ankle bone into the top of the knee and press the palms, the heel of your hand, into the thighs in front of you. Just kind of gliding, feeling that little stretch in the low back. Resting your head on your blanket still, finding breath. You may decide to stay, you might decide to pull it in. Take your hands as you thread them through, finding the crease of the knee or on top, or thread the needle. Really steer that right knee out to the right. Flex through the right foot, rest the head. Couple breaths as we get into that right hip. And then go ahead and release your arms out to the side. Even if you are here with the left foot onto the floor, just lift that foot up. We're just going to be hovering. We're just going to shimmy from side to side. We're going to go into a twist. We're going to go all the way over to the left side, stamping your right foot onto the floor. With your left hand, find your outer ankle. Right arm out to the side. And you start to keep steering that right knee up to the ceiling. As you get length in the spine, draw that belly in, maybe decide your gaze, look over to the right or to the left. Another breath or so, just a nice minor twist. My hips tend to be really tight first thing in the morning. It's just a nice easy stretch to begin. Returning to center, we'll switch sides. So we'll take the left outer ankle on top of the knee as we flex and draw those toes back towards the knee. This side might feel different. My side feels different for sure. Let's start with our hands again to the thighs as we press. Maybe gliding that knee just a little bit more to the left side with that flex foot. You'll feel that outer ankle bone press to the top of the knee. Drawing the belly in, activating the core just a bit. You might decide to stay or thread the needle. Might look a little bit different on this side and interlacing the crease to the top of the knee. As you keep steering that left knee a bit, make sure your head is resting on your pillow, softening in the jaw. Finding center here, just another 2 breaths. We'll add that twist. As we soften in the face and the jaw. I'm using this practice just to get into our body, just a nice opening. Let's release. Again, hover. If you're here, pick up the foot and just hover. Maybe start to shimmy from side to side. And we're going over to the right this time to stamp that left outer ankle. I like to hold on to get a nice grip. Again, the left arm up to the ceiling and up and overhead, reaching to the side to continue. Maybe peel that right shoulder blade up and set it back down, taking your gaze to the left. Breathe into the back body, draw the navel up and in. Good, and then return to center. All right, you can release that foot. We're going to come up, so however you need to, you can roll to your right to do so and come up, or just bring your hands in the inner creases of the knee and give yourself a rock to come up. Cross at the ankles, or just simply move your feet over to the side. We're finding our way to hands and knees. If those blocks are being used, just move them up to the corners and you can move your blanket that was behind you out of the way. All right, so we're going to come to tabletop position. As we root through the tops of our feet, we'll inhale, draw our chest forward. Then lengthen, tail back, exhale, round, draw the belly in, cat pose. Really press through the palms and root through the tops of the feet. Again, inhale, fold, pull the heart chest forward. Exhale, round. One more time through, inhale, forward. And exhale, round. And then come back to center. We're going to extend the back right leg as we curl the back toes under. From here, you can stay. You can also lift that back right leg just to the height of the hip. Make sure the toes are pointing down. This is option 2, or even option 3 is extend the left arm in front of you. Make sure the thumb is up. Your gaze is down so that your neck is long and you're pushing through your back right heel. Stabilizing in that left hip, rooting through the top of the left foot. Let's take another breath here. And then go ahead and release that left hand and toes back behind you. Drop your back right heel and swivel your left foot over to the side. Then we come into a supported side angle here. As we come up with the arm, just get a nice stretch out through the fingertips. This is option as you got the shoulder over the wrist, staying, or maybe even lifting that back leg. See if you can bring that back right leg just a little bit closer to that back right corner of your mat. Push out through the heel. You can even extend the right arm up overhead. Draw the belly up and in. Then release, hands up to the ceiling, toes down, squaring out the hips. Bring your knee into your chest. Inhale, pull your heart and chest forward. And exhale, round. Side 2, we'll curl the back left toes behind us. Pausing here, really level out the hips, shoulders over the wrists. You can stay with the toes down. You can lift. As you root through this top of the right foot, make sure that hip's plugged in. And if you like, you can even extend the right arm. Mostly we don't want to look up at that right thumb. Keep the gaze down, neck is long, and draw the navel up and in. Get a nice reach. Burn through that outer hip. One more breath. And then release, hand to the floor, toes to the floor. Right foot just shimmies a little bit over to the side as you drop that left heel. Extending the left arm up to the ceiling, staying here. Lengthening on the side body. Maybe you're extending or reaching the left leg up just to the height of the hip, so not too high, just here. Maybe that left arm goes up and overhead as you wrap the outer upper arm. Firming through that hip, just one more breath. And then arm up to the ceiling, toes to the floor, squaring out those hips. Come back to your tabletop position. Inhale again, one more time, cat-cow. Pull the chest forward, widen through the collarbones. Exhale, round, drawing the belly in and up. Pause here. We're going to curl the toes under, spread wide through the fingers. And ever so slightly turn your fingertips just out to the corners of your mat. As you start to lift your hips up and back, we'll come into our first downward facing dog. Send the thighs back, firm the hip in towards each other. As you root through your feet, lift up through those toes, draw the navel in, and then come forward into your plank pose. As you come forward into your plank pose, push back through the heels, draw the chest forward. You can always be here or here from your knees in plank. Let's lift our hips up and back one more time. We'll do that actually a few times. We'll come up high onto the toes. Drop your heels over to the right. You can always be in table as well if you're not going your down dog today. Come up to your heels. We'll swivel those heels over to the left. Push out evenly through the hands. Come to center. Back into your plank, front plank or your knees. Shift forward. I'll go from the knees. Shift forward and lower slowly all the way down onto the mat. Rest your forehead. Point your toes back. As you point your toes back, slide your hands just a few inches back so they're right underneath your elbows. Pressing through the tops of the feet, lift your shoulder heads will come up just for baby cobra to keep your gaze down. Shoulder heads lifted. And then exhale, lower. Twice more. Inhale, lift. Rooting through the feet, spin in and thighs up. Exhale, lower. One more. Come back up. Baby cobra, maybe a little bit higher. As you work out through the crown of your head. And then exhale, lower. And push into the floor. You can come up to hands and knees. Take your big toes to touch, knees wide. And we're just going to sit our hips back for our child's pose. Really extend those arms out in front of you. As you reach, reach, reach. Seal the palms down. Active in those arms as you wrap the outer upper arms down and the biceps up. And always come here to the anytime just to practice. We're going to do one Surya Namaskar A here. Inhale, come back up. Curl the toes, lift the hips, and return downward facing dog. Inhale, come up high onto your toes. Bend your knees a lot as you look forward. Start to step, or maybe even hop up to the top of your mat. As you bring your hands to your shins, pull the heart and chest forward, out of the heels just ever so slightly. Take your gaze down. Think lengthen the spine. Exhale, soft bend in the knees as you forward fold. Circling the arms out and over and up and overhead. Coming up to the stand, we'll seal the palms at the top. Draw the belly up and in. Exhale, hands to your heart. All right, again, inhale, we'll come up with those arms, raise them up. Exhale, soften in the knees and forward fold as we come back down. Again, inhale, lift the heart and chest. And then exhale, fold. Step back, find yourself into your plank pose. Once again, shift forward from here or your knees. Maybe this time you pause and try to rumble one breath, chest is forward. And then exhale, lower to the mat. Point the toes back just like we just did. And either come up for your cobra pose, or maybe decide it's your upward facing dog with your shoulder heads back, chest is forward. And then curl those toes under, lift the hips up and back. Return to down dog. Take one more breath here. And then lower to your knees. Swivel your feet over to the side and find yourself to your seat. Okay. So now we're going to do some a little bit longer, deeper holds, which is one of my favorites. So our first one we're going to practice is butterfly. So we're going to take the soles of our feet together. I like to sit on, I first going to mention, you have that blanket, you want to sit up and just elevate those hips just a tiny bit. You happen to have a bolster or any other things you could use, you might want to use them here just for an extra comfort. I do have my extra iPad here I'm going to use for our timer. I'm going to be here 3 minutes as we come to our more of our yin practice, some longer, deeper holds. Okay, so getting comfortable. I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes. Blocks, bolster, anything can be used. When you're practicing yin, it's much different than what we just experienced in our yang life where we're moving. So we're just getting comfortable, settling in, taking these 3 minutes. It's nice to use the timer, gives us that container amount of time, a place to be, focused. And if you're like me, when I first practiced yin, I have a lot of distractions. There's a lot that's coming up. I think first this is just too long, or I can't stay still. I have a visitor, so I'm gonna get up. You stay there. This is what means practicing at home. So we have a little friend that came to join in. This is Zoe, or my dog, her name is Sugar, Shug, and she wanted to join us too. So when distractions come up, we just deal with them and get back to where we need to be. So we still have about a minute, a little over a minute here. And feel free to just roll your shoulder heads forward. And as we kind of slow down from our yang practice and move more into the yin-like, you might feel that just natural tension, stress maybe in the inner thighs, the hamstrings, or the low back. So that's where we need to draw our attention to. That's where we need to go. Just listening for the breath. Closing the eyes helps. You can also do this too with eyes open. Have a nice fixed gaze. As you can tell now that we have been holding the poses, yin is more where we go deeper, give us more time to look inward, start that meditation. And there's our time to come out. So let's bring our legs together and extend our legs in front. Okay, so we can kind of rebound and shake that out. Next one we're going to do is we're just going to pull our right knee into our chest and fan the right knee out to the right. You can bring the bolster, blankets, anything you like on top. And we'll set our timer for this for 3 minutes on this side. Let go of the need to hold on, to push, to go deeper. Just finding the shape is where we're headed. So there's 3 principles in yin. The first one is just to kind of find the edge, find where your stopping place is. And once you find that stopping place, then just stop. And then we get patient. We just sit it and wait. We listen for what comes up. And it's the time is the effort that's made. So the time. So longer holds, we get more longer at holding the poses, or we get better at holding the poses. You might ask yourself, this is kind of boring. What am I supposed to be doing or thinking about? This is the time to think of find sensation that's in your body. What is it you're feeling? And then trigger it. Is it a dull ache? Is it all over feeling? Can I feel something here? And find my breath. Just about 10 breaths to go here in our half butterfly. You might start to feel like you can start to remove any props, add a different way of the work. As you can tell, as we've been here for some time, we start to get deeper. And you're letting it happen more gradually. I find that practicing at home, I find myself much more distracted, obvious. I've got my phone and my dog and people and my husband and whatnot. So it's busy. And this time of this season of what we're experiencing in the world today, this keeps our mind busy. We have a constant stimulant to keep us distracted. So it's okay. We just keep coming back from where we were. So just remind yourself to come back. And there's our timer. And eventually you'll find your way up. And help the leg up, and you can rebound any way you like. You might take your hands behind you. Do some windshield wipering. And then we'll switch sides. So we'll extend the right leg in front of us, and then bring the sole of your left foot just to your inner thigh. I'm going to start, because I did on side 1 with my bolster, You can do blocks in front of you, blanket. Don't have to do anything. You can just place your hands onto the floor, one hand on either side, and then get the timer started. That's what I've got over here. As I mentioned, that container amount of time that gives us are not left waiting or hanging where we need to be. We have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Practicing yin has become one of my favorite things to do. I do a few yin poses like these before bed. Help to quiet my mind to get me ready to sleep. I find that practicing yin in the first thing in the morning is helpful. So it helps me when I'm really stiff to just sit. Maybe not my desired shape. I would rather be more flexible, but that will come as we start to liquefy, get moving in the body. Plenty of time to find your breath, to think of the sensation. Oftentimes my hamstrings are pretty tight, so I find my attention goes there. But when I do these forward folds, I find that in my back as well. The nice thing about yin is it doesn't have to be cookie cutter perfect. This is just taking shape. So we're just finding the position. So we're practicing on line together. We're individual in ourselves and on our home practice. Less than a minute to go for this side. So if you can just invite that breath in and then release it. So maybe just a 2 or 3 count on the way in and a 2 or 3 count on the way out. Just so that you're aware of the breath, aware of the sensation, recognizing tension, compression. Maybe finding you can go a little bit deeper. Alright, and there's our sign to come out. We'll go ahead and come up slowly. We always want to come out of these poses very slowly. Help that leg in. And again, maybe just bring your knees into your chest. Get a little round as a little ball. Curl up into a ball. And then get a little lift in the shoulders. Maybe tilt the head from side to side. Get some movement in the neck. Alright, our last one before our rest of Shavasana. We're going to do wide dragonfly here. So we're going to take our legs not to the widest place that we can take them, just take them out to a comfortable distance in front of you. My encouragement should be use blocks, bolster, blanket, anything, just so you can set your elbows and rest on something. I don't know too many people that can come all the way down, though they are out there. That's awesome, but this is where I am in my body today at this moment, so this is where I want to be, or this is where I need to be. So practicing yin is not about going to the distance of where you think or where you ought to be. It's accepting where you are at the moment. And that's what I like about yoga. It's a very patient yin practice. You're practicing yin yoga in particular, because you have to be very patient. You have to wait for that letting go. This is time to begin to find the breath, the meditation. This is like our gateway into a meditation. Can we begin by just sitting for these 3 minutes and finding what sensation arises while we're here? No reason to hold your head up. You can let it hang. So we're here for several minutes, and we're quiet. And when you notice what arises, what comes up. And can you remind yourself, just put it off till you're finished. Remind yourself by saying later. You can repeat that over and over again. We'll do that later. It's hard to keep ourselves present in this moment. The way to find presence is being in the breath and being in the physical body. So maybe wiggle a little from side to side and notice what sensation rises. Is there something there? What does that feel like? And you'll notice after some time, you'll feel like you can go deeper. It's about 30 seconds, so about 5-6 good breaths here. All right, there's our sun. It'll come out slowly and carefully as you come up. We're going to set ourselves up for our final rest of Shavasana. So if you've got those blocks or anything, again, you don't have to use blocks. You can set them up at the end of your mat. Put your blanket on top. Bring our legs up and over the blanket and the blocks, or you can just lay out straight and flat. And go ahead and take our final rest of Shavasana as we come to our mat. Allow your arms out to the sides and the palms to face up. Very similar to how we began here on our back. If you have an eye pillow, want to rest over your eyes. You can just send breath all the way down to your feet, your toes. Releasing in the ankles, bottoms of your feet and toes. And this next exhale breath, let's send that breath all the way down to our hips and to our seat. And the weight of the thighs ground, soften the knees, and down to the feet. This next out breath, just a nice big exhale out, releasing through the middle, lower back, the soft belly, inviting the inhale in. And see if those shoulders can rest just a bit more. A little space between the lips, the jaw and the face, all soft. Easy breath in and easy breath out. Taking this most important pose of the practice, just this time to just absorb what your body done. And this is just kind of a morning get going practice. It can be done at any time of the day. It's really nice just to have these moments of clarity at the end. Take a nice big breath here. Maybe start to wiggle the toes, fingertips. Bending at the knees, place your feet to the blanket, the mat. Just bend your knees and pull your knees into your chest and roll over to your right side. As you come up over onto your right, use your left hand to help you come up. And have a comfortable seat. And you sit tall with your spine. Let's close our eyes as we bring our hands to our heart. Just taking this little time, this morning practice to find our physical body, move a little bit, and also be meditative, slower. And thank you for joining me. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.